Christopher MacDonald, reporting not from the tent city, but from the Ferry building in San Francisco. It's September the 8th, 2015, and I'm waiting to hear back from the American Baptist Seminary of the West. Not a crisis day at all, a curious day. Regardless of whether the answer is that classes start today or they start in the spring, my commitment to the tent city remains the same. My work isn't done there. This is something that I feel strongly about, and it's an inner sense that I have that I can't prove. Like many things of faith, they're not provable. It's a spiritual perception that one has to just go with. But I've found that over the last 40 years, such perceptions are as reliable as things that conclusions I come to on a strictly rational basis. And if I don't listen to them, usually I'm very, very sorry at a later date. In fact, almost always invariably sorry. One of the enemies of faith is really the core question of meaning, because the world tells us that meaning comes from the accumulation of pretended power, of money, and prestige. And none of these things gives the meaning that people hope to derive from them. If they did, people who had those things would be a hell of a lot happier than they are. And they're not. No, meaning comes from the vitality of the relationships that we're in, a deep connection with God and with others, and from a sense of purpose that comes from service. This is, on some level, we all know this because we watch movies, and when that element is brought up in movies that we watch, and we have some distance from that in those films, and we watch it depicted on the screen, we live vicariously through that, and we identify with it. We find that heroic. We respond to that, and we say, wow, on some level we wish our lives were like that. They can be. They really can be, even if you work an ordinary job, even if you're in school, no matter what circumstance you're in life, that is a possibility. I'm living proof of that. I have no prestige, I have no money, I have no position, I have no power, and yet I live a very, very meaningful life. Earlier this morning, I was able to touch a man's life by getting an ambulance for him and staying with him, praying with him while the ambulance came, comforting him. A lot of the things that I've gone through in my life, things that were notable failures, have enabled me to be and walk alongside almost anyone, really anyone. And it enables me to very, very comfortably live in the tent city with my brothers as just an equal, just another guy. And it enables me to be a seminarian and study. Right now I'm studying Augustine because I'm hoping to take the Augustine class. I'm reading his Confessions. Wow, pretty amazing. I'm listening to them on audio tape, actually, because I'm sort of like almost blind in one eye, and both eyes have macular degeneration. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge in seminary with its massive amounts of reading. But I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I'm up for a good challenge. I enjoy a good challenge. It's going to be fun. And if I don't get in today, if classes don't start for me today or this week, but I'm getting to the Augustine class this week, I'll get in the spring. And it just means that there's more work for me to do in West Oakland between now and the spring. So things are going well. We have a new member in our community in the tent city, a guy also, interestingly enough, named Mac. There will be more coming. I have a sense of that. There's more ministry to be done, more service to be done. We'll be opening up a life group where Pastor Chris Scott will be coming, and our good brother Johnny, to just open up Scripture, talk about life, open things up a little bit right there in the tent city itself.
Oh look, incoming! Sorry fellas, don't send the drones.
At any rate, this is, I picked this spot because it'd be so much more quieter than the tent city, but of course it isn't. They brought in the heavy artillery. So with that, I'll sign off. Christopher MacDonald from the Ferry Building in San Francisco. Have a lovely day.